My F27, BF, M33, complains we don't have enough. When we started dating and weren't living together, I used to have with him when I visited on a weeknight, but I didn't see him as often. Now we live together and I work hectic hours, so I'm just tired throughout the week and want to sleep, so I just go to sleep. I don't think anything of it. We're just over the honeymoon stage and are a bit more in the normal. Brought it up a couple of times now, asking what's going on and saying I never want to have any more, which isn't the case. I'm honestly just tired most of the time. In his view, now that we live together, it should be more. It honestly puts me off because it feels like he's pushing me. It's only been a few days since we've had to put things into perspective, not like it's been weeks, months. I just feel like, to me, he sounds juvenile, complaining. Like he's a teenager, not an adult. Especially because he insinuates that something's wrong with me for being tired and asks me why I'm tired all the time when he sees me waking up at 5 AM and then getting home at 11 to 12 PM, literally lay in bed on his phone saying, "I'm not tired," and nudging me and then sulking when I'm trying to drift off. He's a 33 years old man. And then he brings up me never wanting to have, and I have to defend myself when I'm honestly so wrecked from the concern is, am I going to keep having to do this every time we don't have for only a few days? Deal with this immaturity and justify myself? It feels like it's setting an expectation up for sulks and complains when we don't have for only a few days, and it puts me off. Advice? Update. In case anyone cares. I had a conversion about this which turned into a bit of an argument we couldn't reach a conclusion for. I told him I've been having an extra hard week and have not been in the mood, and he said he thinks I should be able to separate work from, and even if the world was on fire, he would still prioritize. He also said I'll probably always have work stress, which I don't doubt. This kind of spiraled into a conversion where I said I need him to be more supportive and understanding, and maybe put a bit more effort into the romance, to which he said that, the road goes both ways. I've now learnt that showing love and affection means different things for both of us, and him showing it is just doesn't sit well with me, honestly. It kind of makes me feel like that's all I'm good for. He then said I should just ask if I want to do things like go on dates, which I was like, okay, but can you also show initiative and do that too? And he said he doesn't really do that, and then threw in that he's also trying to save money. So, yeah, this is probably the end of the road.
What job are you doing where you are up at 5, and not returning home until midnight? Look, this is gonna sound harsh, so let me preface it by saying that he is pushing and going about things the wrong way, and yes, he is treating you unfairly. But, over a decade ago, I was working in the film industry in Canada. Film labor laws are a bit of a joke there, so I was waking around 6 AM and returning home around midnight. I barely saw my partner in that time, and he began to get quite resentful as well. Well, one night, I knew he was asleep, so WHRN my coworkers went out for dinner at 1 AM, I joined them. And I will never forget this dinner in my life, because at it, all of them literally ganged up on me. Keep in mind how jaded and bitter these men were, and told me that I basically should just break up with my boyfriend now, rather than wait out the inevitable, because no one in this industry has successful relationships. They then went down a list of every one of our coworkers, and pointed out divorce after divorce, breakup after breakup, and estranged parent after estranged parent. And they were right. I was the singular only person, out of a 160-person crew, in a relationship, and since beginning this career, it certainly was no longer a happy one. I realized that night, that I couldn't have both, a happy family life, and a career in that aspect of filmmaking. So I made a choice. I quit my job the next day, and changed careers. Many years later, I'm not with the same man, but I have a very profitable and happy 9-to-5 MF job. I have a wonderful family and gorgeous children, and the happiest relationship I've ever been in. And I know, without a doubt, that I made the right call. So here's the harsh part. Look, it's a separate issue to your post about your boyfriend, but I need to state that, having been there myself, I know for a fact that when you work those sorts of house, you cannot have a happy relationship with someone who doesn't. It just doesn't work, you can't have both. So this guy, he may not be the one, he doesn't sound like it, no matter how frustrated or resentful of you being away and not focused on the relationship he is. But what about the one? It's quite possible that your next guy's resentment about your job and hours could reach a boiling point too, and the next, because the frustration of never getting time with your partner is a super valid frustration. So I guess my question is, what do you want in your life? Is this really it? Is this career worth it? 'Cause it doesn't sound like you've got a happy life outside of it.
The two of you need to sit down at a neutral time and have a frank conversation about how often each of you would like to be having it, preferences for the act itself, preferences for foreplay, preferences for time of day to initiate. After the initial conversation, you may need to follow up weekly or monthly, whatever makes sense for you, to make sure needs are still being met. My hubs and I have a monthly check-in to air any grievances that may be building in the background. We talk about chores, if anything has been bothering one of us, anything on your mind, upcoming plans, etc. You could also try scheduling and see if that works.
I think you should have a larger conversation about frequency to try and get on the same page about expectations. If you are getting up at 5 and not getting home until late, then of course you are going to be too tired, so maybe he just needs to get used to the idea that on a workday is probably not happening. There's nothing wrong with him wanting it more frequently or you not wanting it as frequently, but it may be an incompatibility. It sounds like he had an expectation that he did not communicate, that would increase when you moved in, and that's a big source of the tension.
He's a 33-years-old man. And then he brings up me never wanting to have and I have to defend myself when I'm honestly so wrecked from there's more than a little resentment built up here. Feels like you guys are just not compatible, at least you're not married yet.
So, when will you not be tired from work? Are you on a special project with an end date, or is this a normal load? You're 27 now, is this your normal workload until 65? You won't have more energy in your 30s and 40s. Kids are energy vampires too. You talk about out of the honeymoon phase and settling. You're not even 30 and you just moved in together. This should be young and exciting still. Honeymoon can't be over already, you're not even married. The part, let's be you coasting now in this relationship. Is all your energy going to other stuff, and he only sees the tired zoned out version of you? Relationships take work, you're not owed companionship. And if you give him the honeymoon phase is over speech, he's just going to hear, I stopped trying once you signed a lease with me, deal with it. It's about the but it's also about your effort.
Greater than I just feel like, to me, he sounds juvenile complaining. Like he's a teenager, not an adult. I appreciate this is how it feels from your perspective. However, this is a truly terrible attitude to have towards a partner who's expressed some want or a frustration, even when they should really be expressing that very differently. If you want to cut this relationship short, maintaining this attitude is an absolute 110% ironclad guarantee to do. Highly doubt he has a problem with not having asked this specific time a few days after you had it. He's telling you, in a way you find annoying, that he misses you, and that he misses something he gets from which I'm going to guess is a sense of connection and vulnerability, especially if you two are in quite a mundane rhythm during the work week. He is probably going about this as well as most men, which is about teenage level. There are reasons for that are much bigger than him, but he can certainly learn to communicate better, and you do need to let him know how his current approach is affecting you. You feel pushed, you say. Nonetheless, try to focus on what he actually needs rather than just the fact he's asking for. This won't be difficult. Just think about and ask him what he gets out of with you and what he misses when you don't have together. I'd second the suggestions of neutral ground and suggest couples therapy. This is a pretty textbook issue and shouldn't take many sessions to see some progress in your mutual understanding of each other, which will be more valuable to you than having endless arguments.
This guy is never going to be a supportive partner. You'll be better off without him.
His loss, not yours. You're not asking for anything crazy here.
Tap out. He sees you as a vehicle for not a human.
Oops. I accidentally deleted my comment when I was adding an edit. It was something about how he just wants a robot doll, and he doesn't care if you enjoy the at all. Selfish guy. I just wanted to add in that you did the right thing. I don't know you, but I feel proud for you. You are strong, and deserve to be treated better than he can treat you.
I've had these conversations before too. They will never listen and have decided to just use whatever you say to attack you. It's not supposed to be about winning, but about coming to an agreement. If he does think you're not showing romance, okay, valid, but let's table this and discuss the original issue you brought up, and then we can discuss the next problem afterwards.
So you're tired because you work loads and therefore don't feel like and it makes him sulk and moan about it. Does he do anything to take some off the load of you? Does he welcome you home to all the chores done, food waiting for you, and does he make some quality time for you after dinner? Does he run you a nice hot bath? No? Sounds like he's the issue, not you.
I'm glad you posted this, because I was going to comment similar. She's working 19 hours a day, and then upset that he wants to feel like he's in a relationship. Sure, he's not going about it well, but damn it, I'd feel pretty alone too if my partner spent every waking second away and collapsed into bed when they got home. I think most of us would. Everyone is hung up on how he's whining and pressuring her, instead of the fact that, while not good communication, he's likely just really feeling unwanted and like she doesn't give a about him, which her actions kinda support.
Sounds like you're overworked and leave no time for your partner's needs. Maybe you need someone less needy. Choosing work over everything else is fine and your choice, but your partner obviously feels neglected.
Well, the comment she's posted as an update shows she would be very right to leave him, as he's got deeply different views on romance and in relationships as well as his views on obligations around them than she does. On top of his winning and pressuring her, not right no matter the situation. But yes, he's got right and reason to feel lonely and neglected, is sort of my point. And so will the next person she dates, if she doesn't do something about the career. And it's not fair to expect partners not to be upset about this as the career she wants. She's kinda gonna be limited to dating in her field. Otherwise this pattern is gonna repeat itself, time and again.